What's going on, everyone? Adam Gelman here. I wanted to hop on quickly because we are about to enter uncharted territories for a lot of wrestling collectors who have not experienced the impact of what digital trading cards are all about for wrestling ever since Panini took over the beginning of 2022. So, if you guys are unaware, Panini, as part of their lawsuit settlement, likely has a directive from WWE to produce digital cards. In response, for the first time ever, we are going to get NFT digital trading cards releasing today for Elite WWE. Now, this isn't the first time we've had digital trading cards released for WWE, because if you go back a while, before Panini took over, Top Slam was the first foray into digital cards that WWE ever experienced. Now, the challenging thing about understanding the difference between the Topps apps and the Panini side of this is going to be a challenge for some people, so I want to take some time to walk through it. Let's start with the beginning here in Top Slam. If you go back many, many years, Topps was committed to delivering a digital trading card experience for all of their collectors. And it was an enormous success, to the point where they were getting national news coverage for everything that they put out under their Star Wars app, their baseball app, their football app. I loved it so much. I loved working with the team on it. It was such an amazing experience because we got the opportunity to have something completely fresh in trading cards for the first time. Basically, you would download this app, you would buy packs in the app. They would have Topps designs. They would have all sorts of fun animations and things like that. And you would get to trade with other collectors inside of the app and collect sets, collect rewards. Like, it was so much fun. If you haven't experienced Topps Bunt, it is still up and running. Huddle, Slam, all the other apps, except for Star Wars and Bunt, seem to be moving on. There was also Topps Kick, which was a soccer-themed one. Unlike the wrestling and the Star Wars side of it, there's actually a gaming element to Topps Bunt, to Topps Kick, which means that you would be able to play along within the apps as a fantasy style type of experience. So basically, there was a game included with your digital trading cards that allowed you to score points as batters would hit home runs, or soccer players would get assists and goals. It was so much fun to be able to sit as a part of the fan base and play fantasy sports through trading cards in these manners. I have a ton of information on digital cards and the history of that on digitalcardcentral.com. It was my website for a while before Topps sort of started moving away from this. But when Panini came on board, it became a completely different experience because Panini started doing things on the blockchain. And when you do things on the blockchain, it is a completely different style of digital card, although it's delivered in a very similar way. You buy packs, you can trade and sell with other card collectors on the app, and more importantly than that, it's real money that you can buy and sell cards on their marketplace. On the top side of it, you can sell and buy cards illegally through their terms and conditions on the app on eBay, but you weren't supposed to do that. Panini is actually giving collectors an opportunity to buy and sell things on their marketplace with digital currency and cryptocurrency. If you look at the different aspects of what an NFT is versus what a digital card is on the top side, very different story as well. Topps owns all the digital cards that exist within their apps. So they're not tied to the blockchain. They're not delivered in a way that you can take them with you if Topps ever shuts down the app. With an NFT, it's a completely different way of delivering the system because you actually, quote unquote, own the card that you are being delivered here on their NFT application. So as you go on to Panini Direct's app, or as you go on to their NFT website, you actually do have ownership, quote unquote, over these cards. And it is different so that if Panini blockchain ever goes away, as long as the servers are still up and running, those cards will exist. So it's going to be interesting to see as they lose these licenses over the next few years, what happens to the NFTs. I would guess they're going to stick around because they're quote unquote owned by the collectors on the blockchain. It's a really difficult sort of long video to talk about what an NFT is, but I would encourage you to go and watch some YouTube videos if you want to get a true understanding of how the ownership and receipts of an NFT are delivered. But basically, there is monetary value in these cards, and you can see them sold, bought and sold on their marketplace because the blockchain provides a sales history of every single card that's ever been bought and sold on there. You can buy and sell the packs. So if you want to buy a pack of WWE Elite, you don't have to open it. You can keep it and sell it as they go out of stock, especially these first off the line ones that are launching today. There's a huge amount of information that exists around how these types of cards are managed. And you can follow Spinatron on Instagram. He does pretty much more content on Panini NFTs than literally anyone that exists. He has a huge collection of one-on-ones and stuff like that that exists because all the cards are serial numbered. And so from an NFT perspective, you can actually trace the sales history as they go person to person, which is something that Topps never was able to figure out. They were able to figure out things like serially numbering cards, but it was a mess. It was hard to do. It was difficult to sort of show that one card could have 10 copies because they basically were just JPEGs that were recycled through the app. This is actually a serial numbered NFT, so it's a little bit different. Overall, like I was really excited to see Topps go the direction of NFTs. They did it with Series 1 baseball a couple of years ago. I made a ton of money off of it because it was easy to see that people were going to get caught up in the NFT craze with it. They sort of moved away from it. I haven't seen Fanatics take an interest in creating NFT Topps cards in a while. So there were opportunities in the past where Topps went through and actually did create NFT cards outside of Bunt and outside of Huddle and outside of Slam. But once they started like depreciating these apps, Huddle and Slam and all the ones that they had licenses for and lost, like they went into like this archive app, so like you could still have the cards and trade and stuff, but nothing new was being released. And once they got put into the graveyard app, as people used to call it, the cards became essentially worthless. Panini actually tried to do something similar to Topps's digital cards apps with Blitz and some of the other and Dunk on the basketball side. They were the football and basketball side, but again, those apps really took a backseat to the NFT craze once that got started. So I would encourage you guys to read up. If you want to get into this, I think it's really fun. I think it's a cool sort of thing. It's 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 going to cost money. It's going to be something that you'll have to figure out along the way. There's a whole community of people that exist around these things, and you can imagine how that goes if you're uninitiated. But once you get into it, it's hard not to have just a ton of fun trading and buying. There's a marketplace that is open 24/7. You can buy packs 24/7. It's a great experience to be able to sort of expand your horizons and find out how the value of things like this exists for digital collectibles, which have been hugely popular over the last few years, although things have sort of taken a dip as cryptocurrencies tend to be very, very challenging to maintain. And if you're not aware of how Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the different types of cryptocurrency function on the market, it can be really difficult to understand how these NFTs change hands. But you can go to cryptoslam.io. You can see the blockchain sales history of a lot of this stuff. So it's all very transparent. It's all very fun to sort of watch and see. WWE has had NFTs in the past. They've offered them for The Undertaker and a few other things like that. But for the first time ever, we're getting digital trading cards. Panini really got called out in the course of this lawsuit and said, hey, when WWE canceled their license, this is one of the things that they cited. They said, you promised us digital cards and we got nothing. And they were able to exploit this as a loophole. With the settlement of the lawsuit now coming forward, and we're seeing that Panini has come out the other side with the license intact. Obviously they want to close those loopholes. So things like digital trading cards, trading card games, which I think is another thing that'll be coming here shortly. We could easily have an expansion of the Panini license very quickly before it goes back to Fanatics in 2026. I get a lot of questions about whether or not Top Slam will return once Fanatics gets the license back after Panini's expires. I think with the NFT sort of situation the way that it is, I think it's unlikely that Top sort of like just picks it up where it left off. I think it's a challenge and it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of resources and people to make the apps run, especially with the help desks and things that go tend to go wrong whenever you have something digital. But overall, like, I mean, there's no reason why it couldn't. I just think it's a challenge to see that Topps does have some sort of play with a digital card trading app when in reality NFTs are probably the way to go. So maybe we'll get NFT related WWE cards on the Fnatic side. I think that's more of a likelihood than what we would see in Top Slam. But man, Top Slam was fun. I had so much fun with that app. Like they had so many different things going on that were just incredibly fun, and the community around it was awesome. So if you haven't heard of these things and you haven't really experienced them, you missed out. I'm sorry. At this point, it's probably like a shell of what it was. So unfortunately, you won't get to experiencing it the same way. But I had so much fun. It's a polarizing experience, right? It's an experience that many collectors couldn't understand paying money for a digital trading app. It was solely for entertainment and fun and community. People were willing to pay to support that, and these NFTs do have monetary value. You can see it, so it's a little bit different. But the Topps apps were completely different in the way that they were doing because you weren't supposed to buy and sell them outside of the app, but people did all the time and still do. So, anyways, I wanted to give somewhat of background of this NFT release because I'm really excited about it. Curious how it performs. Curious how the packs sell. First off the line for Elite comes next today. That's releasing at 10 a.m. I'm going to try and have this video up before that goes live. Otherwise, the full Elite set will come probably in a week or two here. Impeccable, immaculate, hopefully follows. Panini also tends to release actual physical cards mirroring the blockchain ones. So you can, if you look up on eBay, you can search for Panini blockchain autograph, and cards of the physical variety will pop up because they release them sister releases on the real side, the physical side, to match the digital releases. Sometimes when you buy the blockchain physical card, you get the digital card on the blockchain as well, and those can be bought and sold. And I know people really have gravitated towards acquiring those. They tend to be things like superfractors and logos and autographs and stuff. So they're really high end, expensive cards, but they're really cool to see. So check it out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on social media. It's down in the corner here of the video. If you want to get involved with sort of the app and tell me about your experience, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you're a fan of Top Slam or any of the other apps, please go and comment and like and subscribe. I don't know how much content we're going to be delivering on this, but I thought it was worthwhile to do at least one video and give my background with it because this was something I was huge into and I was really excited about. So looking forward to this release, seeing how it plays out. Let me know your experience. Talk to you guys soon.